Hi, I'm Ray, and this is my March 2026 reading journal. March wasn't the best personal month for me, but it was an okay month for reading, so I'll take it. I ended up reading 6 books in March, and let's see how my pages turned out, I guess. I'm kind of out of it right now, honestly. I am a bit sick. I don't know what's going on. I've been having migraines up the wazoo the past while. I don't even know how long. Honestly, that is only one of the problems that have started in March. Anyway, for my cover, I went with a few of the flowers. Most of these flowers that I used, I got from the purple packet that you saw me open from Tiefossi. I have it in my link of materials that I use. The yellow ones are from Shopee, and the other ones that you saw in the beginning that I was kind of choosing which ones I was going to use are also from Shopee, from the same listing, I believe. I do have them listed down in my list of materials. And that is down below in the description, so if you want to take a look at that. But I think the Tiefossi website has a lot of options for flowers, and they have some really good ones. I do really like these yellow ones and the other packets that are similar because it has this golden foil to it, which is really pretty. But this purple packet is really nice because there's a lot of variety. Unfortunately though, I do believe it's AI, which makes me kind of angry, but it's what I had, unfortunately, and I did not want to fight the stickers I already had, so that's why I went with it. And I just kind of put them down, sort of trying to make a flow from left to right there, and left space to write down March with my Pigma Micron size 10, which is the biggest Pigma Micron I've ever had. I didn't even know they went that big. I always used the size like 01, 05, 005, so a size 10 is ridiculous to me. And my Dutch door, I'm keeping the same format as the other months, so Dutch door with the stats, with more stickers. I have no idea how many stickers I used in this. All I know is that it took me over an hour just peeling stickers, because there's nothing like that difficult in the format that I'm doing this in. I already know the layout because it's the same layout as the other months, and I have all the information like written down before I start these, so I'm not figuring that out beforehand. So it's really a matter of making sure I know where the stickers are going and peeling off the stickers. So that took a long time. Peeling stickers took forever. So if you're doing a lot of stickers in your notebook, account for the time that will take for you to peel them off more than anything else. Now, as I said, I read 6 books in March, and they were kind of all over the place in a sense that they were fantasy, there was a non-fiction book, there was romance, there was kind of everything, of like a little bit of everything going on. I had a good time with all of them, I should say, some more than others, definitely, but that is to be expected. And somehow my highlights, even though I didn't plan this, you'll see my highlights are very much related to the amount of flowers that ended up existing in this spread, which I thought it was very appropriate. But I only realized that after I put down the stickers. I didn't even realize as I was choosing my highlights, which is wild to me. And I do make a little mistake here in my pile of books. I made a little mistake. You can see me there, like kind of figuring out. Yeah, there you go. I have a little bit of an extra piece of line there. It's fine. Anyway, the 6 books I read for March, and as you can see, I keep my year-long number, so I'm up to book 22 in March. Number 17 of the year was Apothecary Diaries number 8 by Natsuhi Yuga. Number 18 was Just Stab Me Now by Gio Berup, that I've been meaning to read forever. Since before it came out, since she announced it, honestly. Then I read Before Your Memory Fades by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, number 3 in the series. And this was my first audiobook of the year, which honestly took me forever to get to an audiobook. Then I read my first non-fiction of the year, which was A Brief History of Everyone Who Ever Lived by Adam Rutherford, which is a science history genetics book. It was a bit of a hard read for me, to be honest. Then it was Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. And last but not least, it was Common Goal by Rachel Reed, the number 4 in the Game Changer series. So I'm very close to finishing a series, and it will be Game Changers, because of course it is. Right? And then as for my actual stats for the month of March, for the format, one of them was physical, which was A Brief History of Everyone Who Ever Lived. Then 4 of them were digital, and one of them was audio, which was Before Your Memory Fades. Then we got mostly Libby, of course, my forever source of books. And then we got one book owned, which was A Brief History of Everyone. Then for pages, mostly still in the 300 range. The shorter book was Apothecary Diaries, because those tend to be like 275 to 280 pages for some reason. That's how big they make it. They really should have just gone for 400-page books. That's just my opinion. And then I don't remember which one is the big one. Oh no, it's A Brief History of Everyone is the 400-page book. And then everyone kind of went between 3 stars and 4.5 stars. So no 5 stars this month, but that's okay. Now for my highlights. My highlights, as I said, very apropos with all the flowers here, I have the Apothecary Diaries number 8 and Hemlock and Silver. I only realized how they fit the vibe of all the flowers after I put both the stickers down, because I did not pay attention to that. I was like, this makes perfect sense. Wow. And here you can see that I looked at this and I was like, oh, I am missing stickers. I need more stickers here. And I needed another sticker there because I thought it needed more stickers, so I'm putting another one over there and a couple over there and one down, and I think 2 on the right and 1 on the bottom, I think. No? Yes. No? Maybe. I have no idea. Oh no. That's it. And then little highlights in blue. I should have picked up my purple pen for that. I was out of it, honestly. And I will come back and do like a little change to this page later, but that's not here or there. Let's talk about the actual books that I read. So, the first book that I read in March was The Apothecary Diaries number 8 by Natsuhi Yuga. And as I said when I reviewed number 7, I can't say anything about what actually happens in this book. What I will say is that the very last 2 or 3 chapters of this volume are absolutely insane, and I was screaming, foaming at the mouth, going, what the hell is going on, as I was finishing this. And then Libby has a 6 weeks hold on number 9. I am crying, screaming. It's very sad. Still waiting for number 9. I am in tears. Anyway, I can't say anything because I do not want to spoil you. And if I say anything and you don't know what's going on, you just won't understand. And I don't want that for you. The Apothecary Diaries is a wonderful series. It is a web series that are also novels, that are also mangas, that is also an anime, that is, I think, getting a live action Japanese movie. there's a lot going on. I'm looking forward to literally anything coming out for this series. Now, for my enjoyment of this particular volume, in my Copile changed variation rating, I got 4 for characters, 4 for atmosphere, 5 for relationship, 4 for plot, and 5 for enjoyment, bringing it up to a 4.4 rating or a 4.5 stars. I rounded it up to 4.5 stars. And let me tell you, oh my god, I am always looking forward to anything related to this series. I'm still looking forward to the Brazilian versions of these books, to the novels. For when they are coming out, I am very excited because as I said before, I do not like the translator Kevin Steinbeck, and I'm really looking forward because the Brazilian versions are translating it from the original Japanese. So I'm looking forward to reading a different translation from the original English translation. So I will continue to be extremely angry at Kevin. For this volume 8, there are full pages where I literally had no idea what was going on. Like, I would read the page and be like, what? And then at a page later, it would make sense because the characters would say something that then would make sense. But let's talk stickers, because I got cute stickers to go in this thing. For these little cats, they're actually hand drawn by kaiki.zip. I have his @ over there. That is his Instagram handle, the top one on the right there. And he hand drew those. There was an event in my hometown of Manaus, and he just had those sitting at his table. He was like, oh, those are hand drawn. I was like, I need those in my life. So I got 3 of those. And then the little sticker sheet for the Apothecary Diaries that I showed earlier, I used some of those as well, are by Nino Palmieri, and he is Nino Palmirito at Instagram as well. Neither of them I could find a website for their thing, so I am adding their Instagram. They're also their Instagram is also on my list of materials of things that I have, so if you want to find them over there, you can find them there too. So, and these are so precious. Like, look at these stickers, they're so cute. And I'll probably use this sticker sheet until I finish with those. For the cats, I only got 4, so I used 3 here, so I'm out of cats because the other one's an orange cat that I'm gonna use somewhere else. But so I'm out of the shiny cats. So that is Kaiki Zip over there. That was his card. He was like, here's my card. I'm like, thank you, because I definitely had forgotten it. And then Nino had it written on his actual sticker sheet, so that was a bit easier for me. But he has beautiful things as well. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. But that was Apothecary Diaries. Okay, next up is Gilbert's Just Stab Me Now. Now, I have been following Jill's YouTube channel for a while now, since before she did the skits that ended up becoming this book. So it's been a while. And when she announced that she was writing this, I was very excited for it, and I kind of followed up her updates in how the book was coming along and what she was doing with it, and how she ended up choosing to self-publish and self-edit and self-everything. And I still follow along with her updates and how the book is doing, and I find that very fascinating and very interesting. And I'm very happy to say that I finally read this. And for my rating, I gave it 4 for characters, 3 for atmosphere, 4 for relationships, 3 for plot, and 4 for enjoyment, bringing it up to a 3.6 rating or 3.5 stars, which for a debut novel from an author that it's self-published and it's a debut novel. It's really good. There are a couple of issues that I had here and there with it. Mostly, I think, kind of some missed opportunities and a little bit of kind of missed expansions of the world kind of deal. I felt like the world could have been a little bit more expanded. That's kind of where a lot of the quote-unquote grade came down for me. That's why like atmosphere and plot kind of came down a bit. Now, what I will say though, that one thing that kind of I felt that was a missed opportunity, because like the whole deal with this story is that the characters are, the writer and the main character of the romance are able to talk to each other. Like Caroline, the writer, can talk to Rosamund. In story, like Rosamund, her character, Caroline, the author, can talk to each other as Caroline is writing the story. And what I wanted to see was at least one scene where Caroline had to rewrite the scene because the characters kind of made her rewrite it, and that kind of didn't happen. And I thought that was a missed opportunity, because a lot of what happened is Caroline wants something to happen and then the characters just kind of go and do whatever they want, which fair, that makes sense, but because they are supposed to be characters, it kind of made sense in my brain to see a scene where like Caroline was like forcing, this is what's going to happen, and then the characters would stop mid-scene and be like, nah, this is not what's going on, let's restart, go back, let's do something else. That's kind of what I wanted to see, and that didn't happen. So that was a missed opportunity in my opinion. But overall, a really good book, definitely recommended. Now, moving on to the next. Now, the third book I read in March was Before Your Memory Fades by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, number 3 in the series Before the Coffee Gets Cold. And as I said in other videos, I really loved the first 2 books, especially the first one of this series. I loved them immensely. But for the third one, I don't know if it's because I did it as an audiobook and I really did not like the narrator, because there's a lot of female characters in this and there's a child character in this, and I did not like the way he did neither the women or the child, so it was kind of odd having a grown man do female voices and a child. It kind of felt icky to me, like the way he did it. Or if it's because it felt repetitive, I'm not sure. But I did not enjoy this nearly as much as I did the other 2 books. Like for me, the first one is almost perfect. The second one is beautiful. The third one, it kind of felt almost cheap, I want to say. For my rating, I gave 3s to everything. It was very mid to me, honestly. And I kind of feel like the 3 is kind of generous. I gave it 3 stars, and this to me was kind of generous because I was kind of like, no, maybe it was the narrator that kind of threw me off of what was going on. But overall, like the way I felt leaving this book was kind of like, it felt just like pain for pain's sake kind of deal. That's kind of what it felt like to me. And also, all the characters that died were all women, which felt iffy to me as well. Like characters that didn't need to be a death. It didn't need to be this medical mystery. It didn't need to be, and that's what it was. You know, like the last story, especially, I was like, this didn't need to be that, and it was. So it was, I don't know, I was kind of very, maybe it was also like what was going on in my life. I did not vibe with this as much. So I'm kind of like wondering if I'll even continue this series, honestly, because if the rest of the series continues to be like people die and then you go back, because I understand that's the premise of the story, of like, that's the premise of the series, right? People die and then you go back and try and talk to these people. But I don't know, it feels icky to me now. I don't know why this one didn't feel as wholesome and as comforting as the other ones did. Now for the stickers, I have no idea where I got these from. Someone might have given them to me, but I used stickers from this Sakura sticker sheet that I have on the other spreads for the other 2 books from last year as well. So I'm using it here, and I still have a couple more that I should have enough for another 2 spreads if I choose to continue this series. But yeah, I'm just very underwhelmed. Oh, that's what I'll say. I'm very underwhelmed with Before Your Memory Fades. The next book I finished was Adam Redford's A Brief History of Everyone Who Ever Lived. And let me tell you, I kept forgetting the number of words in this. I was like, the brief history of everyone ever. I definitely did not call this book the proper name at any point throughout the month I was reading this. So I read this from the 27th of February to the 21st of March, so almost an entire month. It took me a little bit to finish this, which is fine. This is a non-fiction history, science, mainly genetics book. So definitely out of my wheelhouse and out of my comfort zone. It was a lot for me personally to read about genetics. I am definitely not a science person, even though I find it fascinating. I understand minimally. History, yes, love history, absolutely adore it. Science, not as much. So the history part, or the history portions of this, fascinating, had a great time. Genetics, not as much. As for my rating, as you can see, this is a little different. This is my non-fiction rating from the Carpe Diem. This is the Diem. For D is directness, which was 3. I for impact, which was 2. E, still for enjoyment, which was 3. And 5 for mastery. Because Rutherford definitely knows what he's talking about. The rest of the rating, it's on me not fully understanding what he was on about, because it was not the easiest book for me to read, because this is like a PhD person trying to dumb down things for the general public, which he doesn't always achieve, because there's a lot of very difficult things that he's trying to explain, and he mostly is able to explain, not always. So the directness is definitely impacted there. The personal impact, which is number 2, which got a 2, is because it didn't really change my life. A lot of the information he brought was fascinating, but it didn't really change my life in any meaningful way. So that's why it kind of like doesn't have a major impact in my personal life experience. That's why enjoyment, there was a lot of difficult parts of this that kind of put me off, which is why it took me so long to finish it as well, which is why the enjoyment is not super high either. So if you have a little bit more of a science brain than I do, you will probably understand and enjoy this a lot more than I did. But I did enjoy this, and Rutherford has like some funny passages in this book which are really fun. The history parts were definitely my favorite, and I kind of wish he spent a little more time in the histories of what he brought in than in the trying to explain genetics and how the human genome works, because it's very hard for sure to try to dumb down the human genome to the general population. He tried. I have a better vague understanding of how it works than I did beforehand, but don't ask me to explain it because I definitely don't know how. So that was that book. Now moving on to the last 2. The second to last book I read was T. Kingfisher's Hemlock and Silver that actually came out last year. Unintentionally, I read such a new book. I've been meaning to read more Kingfisher since I read Nettle and Bone last year, and I finally got my hands on this one. I honestly, every time I see one of her books anywhere, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna read this one, I'm gonna read this one. And I'm kind of like, don't know which one to choose, and I just kind of went with this one. And I loved it. So I definitely want to keep just picking up her books without knowing what's going on and enjoying it from there. I love that her main characters tend to be older. I love the wittiness of them. I kind of really enjoy her world building. They're not the most intricate, but they're very well constructed. And we have just enough detail that they feel kind of lived in and very well thought out. Although sometimes I do wish we had a little bit more detail on them, especially on this one. Now, for my rating for Hemlock and Silver, we got 4 for characters and atmosphere, 3 for relationships, and 4 for plot and enjoyment. Now, relationships here got a little bit of a lower rating because I kind of wish we saw more of other characters. Like, I really enjoyed the characters, especially Anya, our main character. I really enjoyed her. And Javier as well, because he's the next character that we kind of have more of. But the relationship of Anya with the other characters in the palace, we kind of don't have. She kind of exists outside of the other characters, especially in relation to Snow, who she's trying to save. She doesn't really build a relationship with Snow, and it's kind of written off with, oh, Anya doesn't really deal with patients, even though she helps them, and she doesn't really deal with children, which is why she's not really dealing with Snow. But I wish we had a little bit more of a better relationship between the two of them. I think would have been a little bit better for the story. But overall, I really, really like this. I love that it's like slightly inspired by Snow White. I thought it was a fascinating take on the story. It's very much not the Snow White story at all. It's just loosely inspired by it, and it's a really interesting inspiration that it took. And I absolutely loved the whole poisoner connoisseur that she is. It really reminded me of Mao Mao from Apothecary Diaries, which was fascinating to me, especially because I love Mao Mao. So it reminded me of Mao Mao, which I thought was great. So definitely recommend Hemlock and Silver. Now for the last book, Common Goal by Rachel Reed, number 4 in the Game Changer series. Now please, let's applaud that perfect 22 stamping. That will never happen again. So I read Common Goal at the very tail end of March. I honestly have to be honest, I don't remember a lot of what happens in this book. I read this in insomnia riddled nights, I have to say. There was a lot going on in those days that I was reading this, and then the next book that I read that I finished on like April 1st. So I have no idea, honestly, what was going on between Kyle and Eric. So for characters, I gave it a 4, atmosphere 3, relationships 4, plot 3, and enjoyment 4. And honestly, I only was able to rate it and give it a 3.6 rating or 3.5 stars because I rated it immediately after reading it. So I kind of remembered enough to be able to rate it. Now for my stickers, I used this beautiful sticker sheet by May Katani that I got a couple of months ago from her website. I'll link it in my doobly-doo. She has beautiful, beautiful stickers, and I thought this kind of matched the vibe of Eric and Kyle. You have like the little cat with the photo camera there for Eric, I believe. Yeah, he takes pictures. See, I have like a vague memory of what happens in this book. That's what I'm going for. And then the bottles for drinks and stuff, and just good old times. That's what I was going with. there was a lot going on as I read this book. So I have like a vague memory of liking this and enjoying the characters, and I really liked Eric, especially Kyle. He was a little bit whiny, but he's also like 25. Who is not whiny at 25? Honestly, Eric's a trooper for dealing with a whiny 25-year-old, but that is a him thing, because Lord knows I was whiny at 25. I'm whiny now at 32. So, that's a choice. Anyway, yeah, so that's the page, I guess. I really enjoyed this. I will say though, I immediately read Role Model after, and I did like Role Model better than Komogo. That's all I'll say. Now, I did decide to show you guys how my notebook is coming along, so let me show you what I'm doing here. And I actually recorded this before I did the March pages, so you'll see my nails are different, and that's because I recorded this before I went to do my nails. So these are my February nails, because I do my nails once a month because they are nice acrylics. So here I'm just adding the extra books that I read for March. So just Hemlock and Silver and Come and Go going there. No, actually, that was a brief history of everyone ever. Can never call that book properly. Anyway, just putting down the extra books. Now it's Hemlock and Silver and Come and Go. And just doing them. I have all the colors written down on the right side over there. Now for my stickers, I love how this page is turning out. I am so close to having a full page spread. I'll probably have it done by May, the way things are turning. Because by the way things are, like I got to number 22 in March. In April, I'm up to 25. I will probably get to 30, honestly, in April. And for May, I'll probably get to 36, honestly, knowing me. And May, we have a readathon, so I'll probably read a lot in May. So we'll see how it goes. I'll definitely get to the next spread for the 2026 in books. Double spread. I'll definitely get there in May. That's where I'm going for. Now for my book format and length page, I really like how this is turning up. As you can see, I have one audiobook. So exciting. One audiobook. Very exciting there. Number 20 there, you can see it's actually a little different because it's multiple, because that was Brief History of Everyone Ever. Because I actually did physical and digital for that one, even though I mark it as physical everywhere else because I have the physical copy, but I did read a little bit on Libby as well to help me along. And you can see I have like this big gap in the middle there on the green side. That is one, to make sure I only have 7 on each row, and 2, to give me space to have the Dutch door that I'll definitely have to add here, because I will not have space to put like 60 plus books in here because I have the flower stickers poking in and stuff like that. I will not have space for sure. So we'll see how this page will turn out going forward. Things will definitely change going forward there. For release year, I have a couple to add, just 2. And then for star ratings, I have basically all of the star ratings for March to add there because I didn't color them in. There you go. And I have the numbers for everyone there just so I don't lose track of what's going on, because I tend to like add things as I go throughout the month just so I don't lose track of what's going on. So in this page, I just needed to add numbers 21 and 22 because I added the rest as the month went along, and I didn't have any DNFs or anything, so that was easy. And for March, as I said, I recorded this before the month was over, so I decided to fill this up in pencil in case I finished a book on the 31st and numbers changed. But I ended up not finishing a book in on the 31st, so it worked out just fine. And good thing I did do it in pencil, because I did make a mistake that I had to correct, so good thing I did that. Now, for the series tracker, this is updated for March. I have not touched One Piece yet. I will read One Piece. It's just that Libby keeps distracting me. Now, for my role for reading, I have not read Crime and Punishment yet. I did not have the time to even look at it, so we'll see. I have rolled number 12 for At Night All Blood is Black by David Diop. This is a very short book, so I actually might read it before I read Crime and Punishment. We'll see how it goes. This will be a cumulative problem, honestly. For Latin America Challenge, I have not read a single one, but I did already read a Latin America book in April, so we'll see what we can do. For my bingo, I have a February book that I forgot to put down for Read in a Day, which is Ngozi Kazu's Check Please #1 Hockey that I forgot to put down in February. There we go. And then I have Mamie Cackle, which I put down as Hemlock and Silver. And as I see this, I am thinking to myself, I am Bobo Fool. I should have put down as Return to an Author, as T. Kingfisher Return to an Author. I am Bobo Fool. But to be fair though, I have R.F. Kuang to read, and that can be Return to an Author. I don't have anything for Read the Rainbow, but I do have another book for the Goober Book Club that I have not read yet. In my defense, Libby's not helping me. Nothing is available on Libby, and the wait lists are months, so nothing is available by the time that the book club is meeting, so I can't read anything. That is my defense. I am on the wait list for the current book club book, so I am excited to read that. Now, for A Year of Goober, I have Croissant that I put down Come and Go for, because it made perfect sense to me to make the entire first line be all hockey books. It made perfect sense in my heart and in my brain. And then you didn't get to see me draw that croissant in the red pencil, but you get to see me line it up in my Pigma Micron number 01, I think that is, or 005. 005, there you go, you can see it. 005, and then just write down croissant, because I have to say croissant like that. I guess that is just how my brain works right now. I apologize. I have no idea what I'm saying anymore. And then I'm just painting it with my Prismacolors, my handy dandy box of crayon pencils. They're not crayons. My box of Prismacolor. They're lovely. Honestly, if you ever want to splurge on color pencils, go for Prismacolors. They're absolutely lovely. They're buttery and soft. They're definitely expensive though. But they're very, very, very good pencils. Now, writing down croissant. And for April, I have since had a read for a nostalgic read. When I recorded this, I had no idea what I was going to do, so I didn't mark down anything, but I have a read for April already. So, and then for Lost in Library, I have Spell Read with Before Your Memory Fades, which you can find READ in Before Your Memory Fades, so it makes perfect sense. Now for this, I have Treat Yourself. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have no clue. Treat yourself. I have no idea. Give me ideas, please and thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. And then for this, I have Before and After for Before Your Memory Fades for the title side. And I have Instructional Title also for the title side with Just Jab Me Now, which I thought it was a great choice for that part there. And now for the final flip through of March. As you can see, I put down a border there because I thought I was kind of missing something, and that's what we got. There we go. And I really liked how it turned out at the end there. Let me know what you think, and if you read what is written down, read it at your own peril. It definitely has some spoilers going on in what is written. I try not to say any spoilers as I speak of the books. I honestly speak very loosely of all the books that I read, so you're definitely not gonna get spoiled on anything. But you might definitely get spoiled if you read what I write on the reviews. But that was March. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you read in March. And thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.